Now, who is this handsome young man sitting on your knee?
Well, he's called Musing Teddy.
And is he amusing?
He is.
Let's see what he can do to amuse us. Well, he's got a very sort of startled look in his eye, hasn't he? He's got this incredibly alive expression with these big eyes, and he's got a very completely bald muzzle. That's nothing to do with you, but this is how the bears were made, with what's known as a shaved muzzle.
Oh, right.
So all this lovely long mohair plush was shaved off to give him this sticky out and bald nose.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that he was yours.
Yes.
Are you going to date yourself and tell me when you... Isn't it rotten? Nobody asks you to date something if you've bought a plate in, but as a bear, you've got to date yourself.
I think he originated in 1928.
Ah, well, that fits in. Because there are lots of indications here which tell me who he may be made by.
Oh, good.
Coming down to his arm, at the bottom here, the way that these claws are stitched
Yes.
is very idiosyncratic. It is something rings bells then for one particular maker.
Yes.
And then coming down to his feet, if you look at the bottom of his feet, you can see that they're narrower at the top and they bulge out. So they're sort of
Yes.
pear shaped like a fruit, like a
Yes.
pear-shaped feet. But what really makes me certain of who he may be made by is the fact that when I squeeze his tummy, you can hear a little musical melody. Is that something you used to do as a child?
Yes, that's why he was called Musing, which I couldn't say music. Musical Teddy, you see.
I see. That's great. Yes, it's wonderful. And that seems as if it's
It has a complete tune.
great and it's in good working order too. So I can tell you who he's made by.
Oh, good.
There was a man called Joseph Pittman, based in Nuremberg, and he registered a particular company name called Jopi, Joseph Pittman, Jopi, J-O-P-I, in 1922.
Yes.
And this is a Jopi bear. So everything about him screams that, and more particularly his tummy tells you that by that very particular hand-squeezed musical movement in his body. And value, what do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, go on, have a guess.
A few hundred? As a guess?
Certainly a few hundred. In fact, this particular type of bear has become incredibly popular with collectors, particularly when these bears are in really good condition, which I have to say yours is. And a few months ago, a bear just like this fetched £2,100.
Really?
So, that's where the market is, that's where the value is, and actually I think that's where the heart is.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a most wonderful example of a, late 20s touring caravan?
Yeah, mid-20s touring caravan, yeah. Probably bought for a fortune teller.
So it had a fairground background?
Yeah, fairground use, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I love the flares on the wheel arches.
Yeah, it's very much...
It's almost sort of Art Deco, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost a period.
Yeah. Can we look inside?
Yeah, certainly.
You go first. What I like about it is it's so traditional. The engraved glass and all that sort of thing. It's to me the sort of transition, because here we've got something which carries the tradition of the Romany caravan, the canal boat, all those old ways of moving homes around for working people. The showman's caravan is obviously here, and yet we're getting that sense of moving on into the ordinary touring van, aren't we?
Yeah, it's really similar.
I love the range, which is a fantastic thing, but again it reminds me of a canal boat. It's that sort of
very
practical
similar.
thing,
Very
because
similar.
it's about living, not just touring, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. This was a home and that was it.
It was your mobile home in the old proper meaning of the word. The cross bed at the end, which again is very traditional, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in a funny way, for the date, 1928 or whatever it is, it's actually quite old-fashioned, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is Eccles.
This is built by Eccles in Birmingham.
And they built showman's
Built
wagons,
showman's
didn't
and
they?
touring vans.
And then they went on to more, what you might call more conventional domestic vans.
Yeah, just a touring van rather
Yes.
than the living van. Yes.
What would this have been towed by?
Probably a big American car, something about 28
shooting
horsepower,
brake
something
or
like
something
that,
like
something of
that,
that
yeah.
nature.
Now I'm going to turn something around. Normally it's my job to give you the valuation, but I haven't a clue how to value a caravan, so what's it worth?
Well, so I've had it 25 years, not interested in selling it, but I have been offered £12,000, which I turned down
I hope you turned
in the
it down,
past.
yes.
But,
Well, that's fine.
It's
That
a job to put a price on it. Really.
Yeah, I mean it's priceless in a strict
yeah.
in a strict sense, but that gives us an idea. You know,
yeah.
old vehicles are increasingly desirable, and something like this, which is in a sense the history of the mobile home, is a very important thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a very exciting vehicle.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.